We often have a lot of leftovers from all the dishes we have cooked all these days. So I have some black chickpea leftover. So I thought I'll make a potato and black chickpea curry. I know I'm being too vegetarian, but trust me, I will turn the tide and I'll start making some non-vegetarian food very quickly. Leftover chickpea from other day when I made chickpea biryani. This is the water in which these black chickpeas were boiled. So all it has is a little bit of salt, and that's all. And then I've got some potatoes cut into wedges. My wok is ready. And the spices I'm going to use are coriander powder, that's that one, garam masala, mango powder, turmeric, red chili, salt, and here I got some cumin seeds, cinnamon or cassia you can call it, cardamom, black pepper, and cloves. Okay, and one more spice I'm going to use later is fenugreek leaves, which I'll be adding towards the end of it. Really simple recipe. So I got sunflower oil, and I got cumin, cassia stroke cinnamon, cardamom, and black pepper and cloves in there. That goes in. I just took the cardamom in my hand so that I can open it and then add, and I lost one here. There we go. Otherwise it explodes and just burns you, scalds you sometimes, which you don't want. Okay, as the cumin and cinnamon on all these whole spices starts spluttering away, I have about 2 tablespoons of ginger and garlic, roughly chopped, but not very fine, but fine enough. That goes in. This is a lovely flavor, or aroma I should say, that comes out of the pan. Now this recipe, of course, I don't think there's anything classic about it. It's just that using the leftovers I have in the house. I couldn't tell you that I have written this recipe before, but I will right now for you. But the inspiration is one of the classics from India called pindi chole, which is like cooking chickpeas in village style. Technically, literally, that's what it means. And different people have different recipes. Some people like adding onions, some people don't like adding onions. In this one, I thought I'll not add onions. I'll use the stock in which the chickpea was cooked. In fact, it was just the water. And I used, I'm going to use that as a gravy for the chickpea and aloo curry. And that's the potatoes. These potatoes are from my own garden. They're from last year. I'm keeping the heat fairly high, okay? And as the potatoes get smeared in oil, I'm going to add all the spices in now only, okay? The spices get cooked very quickly because the oil is hot and they get nicely covered over the potatoes. Okay, and all I do is I have this stock which has been kept warm, and I'll add that. Now what will happen, the potatoes will get cooked in this stock and they will absorb lots of flavors of chickpeas, which is already in this stock. And as they get softened, I will bring back the chickpeas in there. 15 minutes later, the potatoes are still simmering. Okay, just a quick test. They are perfectly cooked. The knife goes through the potatoes very easily, and that's a good sign. So what we do is add all the chickpea, the black chickpea. Okay. Mix that in gently. So I waited for potatoes to almost get cooked because chickpeas are already cooked and I don't want my potatoes to get mushy. And I didn't add tomatoes as well. So what I took 4 small tomatoes and put them in the blender, and that goes in now. That gives a nice body and also a kind of tangy flavor, which we are looking to get in this curry. Okay, mix that gently. Look, it already is quite thick now. Okay, so what I'll do is add rest of the stock. Just in case you don't have the stock, you got rid of the water. I would recommend not to get rid of this water in which you boil your chickpeas. But if you did, don't worry, don't sweat too much on that. Just use plain water, you'll be fine. So I got some boiled rice going. This is still simmering. Idea is to get the rice ready as soon as my chickpea and potato curry is ready too. So I can serve the lunch. Job done. So I got this kasuri methi, which is fenugreek leaf. It's called kasuri methi because it comes from a region called Kausar in Pakistan. That's how it acquired the name kasuri. And it's sun-dried, and then we just either pound it or put it in a blender, but I prefer crushing it with the hands. There's something more therapeutic about it, and I love the smell which lingers on in my hands till all day, till the end of the day. Okay, that goes in, and let's mix this. And I'm just going to kill the heat now because kasuri methi is quite fragrant and I want this to keep the flavor on. If you cook too much, I believe that it might lose the flavor. Some people don't believe so, but who am I to preach anything, right? So, rice. This time I'm just going to make the bed of the rice, okay, and serve the potatoes and chickpeas on top of this. I so love this recipe because it's just a kind of creative thing. There's no classical recipe about this, but I think you try to use whatever you have in your fridge or in your pantry. And this recipe is all about that. Really simple, straightforward. Pleases the family. A little bit of coriander goes on top. And off you go. Bingo. All done. I think it looks amazing. And I know it'll taste amazing too.